out of bounds play, so Awet's going to be the expert right now on out of bounds plays. Yeah. Damien talked about a wrinkle. Awet says there's more than a wrinkle, so we're looking forward to this. Thanks, buddy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
No worries. All right, guys, thanks for having me. So let's dive right into it, right? Damien and Robin did a great job teaching a lot of the game. I'll just stick to more X and O's and give you the fun stuff, what plays you want to run, what sets, what they look like. But before we get on court, I just want to talk a bit about what makes out of bounds plays successful, right? And there's a few things I think we need to teach the players before we get them out there and tell them, hey, you got to go set this screen, you got to flare off here, or you got to curl this. I think there's some fundamental things that sometimes doesn't get talked about enough. And those are what really makes those out of bounds plays successful, right? So to begin with, I got 6 keys to success that I think are very important in order for you to have an effective or successful out of bounds play. So starting out, number one thing I think is you got to be able to set great screens, right? So setting great screens is the most effective way to get players open these days, you know what I mean? So, or create mismatches and basically gain competitive advantage over your opponents. But we go out there and tell guys to set screens. So what does that mean? So for me and for us at MRU, we tell players we don't want them to be tall and skinny, right? We want them to have a wide base and be big, right? So, and we also talk about hitting guys. Not necessarily go in and get in a fight with them, but you want to make contact, right? A lot of the times we see with the youth basketball, guys come up and just stand there and expect someone's going to come and run into them. But we got to be more intentional about really finding where guys at, be wide and hitting guys, right? Not necessarily moving your hip, but in order to make contact, you got to be right up on them and go find guys. So that's what we talk about when we talk about hitting guys, right? Or girls. And then another thing we want to focus on screen is our angles, right? So what are we doing when we're setting a screen? Like where do I want my player to go, right? Do I want him to go to the open space over here? If I'm doing that and I'm coming here, setting a pick right here, this screen is not effective because the defender is just going to jump over me and we haven't gained that competitive advantage we're looking for. So angling yourself, shouldering yourself, and being wide, that's the thing we need to consider. So basically, when we do set screens, a lot of the times, yes, we're trying to get a player open, but more times than not, who's more open? The screener, right? If we set an effective screen, it's going to cause other players, we're putting them in a situation where they need to communicate. And I don't know about all the other coaches, but we have a hard time getting our guys to communicate a lot. So more often than not, if you do it properly, they need to do a lot of things right in order to defend that screen properly. So once we set that screen, and maybe 2 guys chase the ball handler, right? So looking for opportunities right after you set a screen is a big thing we need to talk about. Exactly, opening up, whatever it is. So that's a key, one key to having a great out of bounds set. Another one is change of speed and cuts, right? So change of speed, it's not just out of bounds plays. I think it's in general in basketball, that's like a big misconception of the game right now is you gotta go, you gotta sprint here, but you have to be able to move effectively in order to gain these, because everyone's fast when they want to be. Everyone's big, right? So if I'm just staring at one spot and I'm like, okay, I'm going here and I'm going full speed, the guy's most likely going to keep up with me because I got a basketball and he doesn't, right? So what we want to do is, even when we're cutting, we want to set players up. That's what we call it, in terms of faking one way, make them think you're going here, boom, and then I'm getting low and I'm taking off. So that's change of speed. That's going to get you open, that you need to think about when you're coming off screens and things like that. So, and then also with cuts, we want to make cuts all the way through, right? We tell our guys to cut through all the way and finish your cuts. A lot of the times we see players come in, you know, we tell them, hey, there's an opportunity here, make a cut. They make a cut, 1, 2, they realize they're not getting the ball, so they jog out the rest, right? That's not helping us. Even though when you're not getting the ball, you finish your cut all the way hard, you're going to attract the defender, right? Get your opponents open, your teammates open, right? So even though you're cutting, it's not necessarily for you to get the ball only. It's also to create that attraction that the defense is going to notice what's going on. Okay, we got a player moving here, cutting hard real fast. So that half a second the defense is thinking about you, we can get another player open, right? Third thing about out-of-bounds plays, and I think it's the most important thing, is your inbounder, right? So whoever is inbounding the ball, there's a few things they need to have assets or skill sets in order for your out-of-bounds plays to be effective, right? So one, they're usually your best passers, right? So they got to be able to make the right pass when it's open, because plays are good, but you'll only be open for a split second, right? And then the player's already covered. So if the player doesn't have the skill to make that pass at the right time, you're not going to have much success in your out-of-bounds plays, right? Second, they have to be smart and have high IQ. What does that mean? Well, they got to be able to read the defense, right? So if the defense is switching, and me, as an inbounder, I'm just holding the ball and waiting for guys. Okay, this is our play, so I'm just going to wait for this guy to come here. And, oh, they switched it. He's not open. Now what am I going to do, right? So you got to be alert and see what the defense is doing so you can see what opportunities you're going to have, right? And last but not least, you got to have good composure as an inbounder, right? And know how to be able to track the time properly, right? Because you only got 5 seconds. A lot of time what happens is guys end up either rushing it or not even throwing the ball in within 5 seconds. And those are the worst turnovers. You're in the inbound and you get a 5-second call on you, it's demoralizing to the whole team. So you want to have someone that has composure, right? And that has that clock on his head or her head, and they can make that play when need be. So another point, key to success is reading the defense, okay? So we talked about the inbounder reading the defense, but now we got to discuss everyone else, right? So if I'm coming off a screen, I got to be able to see what the defense is doing, right? Just like Coach Damien talked about, right? If the defender is on my hip trailing me, what am I going to do off a screen? I'm going to curl, right? Because I'm going to have that advantage. After I come off the pick, he's going to be behind me. Then I'll be able to get open, right? But if the defense is gapping it, right, that means I'm coming off the screen. Instead of following, they're going under the screen and meeting me on the other side. I can't just keep going and expect to be open, right? So then I got to think about it. Okay, this player is gapping. I know he's going to gap. Boom, I'm going to hit him with the flare. Now I hit the flare. I'm open, right? Created that advantage. Yeah, so we just got to be able to, and if a lot of times defense on out of bounds plays, what do? Coach mentioned it, they switch a lot. So what's going to be impactful if I'm the screen setter, right? I'm coming to set a screen, and I know they're going to switch it. I already feel my defender jumping up on this end. Coach talked about it. That's when we do the ghost screens, the slips, right? Because they won't be expecting that. Boom. I'm not even going to set the screen, because by me setting the screen, I'm helping the defense set up, right? Because the defense is jumping out, and they're ready to defend the ball handler, right? But if I'm on the way and I sense them and I slip that, they're not ready for it, right? Now we got a 2-on-1 going to the rim, which is a great opportunity for us. Last two keys for successful out-of-bounds plays are, one, spacing, right? And this goes with anything in basketball, right? If one defender can guard two of your players, you're not only at an advantage, you're at a disadvantage, right? Now you're playing four on five, basically, because one player can guard this guy and this guy right here, right? So we got to be able to, yeah, we might start out in a stack or a box or something like that, but our end result got to be, we got to create space between one of our teammates and another, right? In order for us to stretch the defense and make them make a decision, right? And last thing, I think this also is not talked about enough when teaching basketball, is being physical, right? A lot of the times, people say basketball is not a contact sport. Guys get banged up every day at practice, right, Coach? Every day people are getting, but that's part of the game, right? So you got to be able to stand your ground, not only stand your ground, but you can't let the defense dictate what you're going to do, right? That's what good defenders do. Good defenders are physical defenders. So even though you have a play set, boom, they're going to make contact and get you out of your comfort zone. Now you're not in the positions to execute the plays you want to run. So physicality is good. But obviously we're not talking about two-hand shoves. There's ways to be physical, and we got to teach that as well. Other things to note, I would say, is signaling when you want to start your out-of-bounds play, right? So a lot of the times, we got to remember, we only got 5 seconds to inbound the ball, right? So a lot of times what players do is, okay, ball's out of bounds, let me run here. All right, I get the ball, my team is not ready, I'm calling out plays, I'm slapping the ball, boom, 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds gone. Now we're trying to run our play. And then what do they say? Hey, coach, this play doesn't work, it takes too long, right? So we gotta be smart, right? As an inbounder, that's why you need a player with a high IQ, right? What I want to do is I'm going to call out the play before I get to the out of bounds, right? Hey, we're running this set. And as I walk, I'm walking back and I'm paying attention to what the defense is doing, right? You can kind of gauge what they're setting up into. So are they running a zone? Are they looking like they're switching? What are they saying? They usually communicate good defenses, so you can pick it up, right? They're most of the time they're speaking English. Good thing we're not playing in Europe or anything like that. So you can pick up what they're doing. So you got to be able to see and observe what's going on the court before you get to the end. And I think the best way to start your play set or whatever you're running, your actions, is as soon as the ref hands the ball to you. By the time you get there, your whole team should be in their positions, right? I'm directing people, hey, get to the corner, hey, get to the block, boom. All right, I got the ball. Everyone should be seeing the ball, right? All my players, my teammates should be locked in, seeing what we're doing, right? See the ball. So as soon as you get the ball, that's when is the best time to start the play. Sometimes a lot of coaches say you should smack the ball. Like, if you like to do that, go ahead. But you're also alerting the defense, hey, we're running this play right now, boom, right? So just be prepared and make sure your inbounder is aware of that. So I talked about physicality a bit, right? What's one effective way to make sure you're not getting pushed out of your position, right? If I want to stand in a high post, let's say, and I go there, most of the time good defenses are going to give me a couple nudges, right? A good effective way not to get pushed or make it difficult for the defense to push you is get in the stance, right? If I'm in the stance right here, if I'm tall and skinny, it's easier to put contact on me, right? If I'm in the stance, legs bent, right, ready to go, it's more difficult to put contact on me because they got to get as low as I am, and really now we're getting in a pushing battle where I can use that into my advantage, right? So a good way to avoid getting pushed is really just be ready, right? Which we should be preaching to our players on a regular basis anyway. Don't be standing straight up. Yeah, so another thing you should consider on out of bounds plays is have a release point, right? So a lot of the times we have certain actions and certain plays we want to run, but we only got 5 seconds. And they're not going to be open all the time, right? So sometimes you just need to inbound the ball. So you got to understand, okay, if none of this works, who is my release? You got to have one player. Most of the time, it's the bigger and more athletic player that can go up and get the ball that we can lob into, right? So even though you're running sets, be aware of where you want to have the release point. And last few things, it will be good if you have play sets, if you're going to run play sets, that will eventually end up into your motion, right? You don't want to have a play set, you run it, boom, nothing works. Now we got to take another 5 seconds to dribble up to our spots and make sure everyone is there because time is going, right? And you want to be as effective as possible and let the motion flow, right? So coming off your sets, if you get nothing, you want to get right into your motion, right? So it's something to consider while you're deciding what play sets you want to run and what's more effective towards your team, right? And overall, I would say just be a basketball player, right? A lot of the time in out-of-bounds plays, players tend to be more robotic, right? Okay, I got to go here, set this screen, then we're flashing up. Usually, it's not how basketball works, right? So you run the play once, the team's going to figure it out eventually. Okay, this is their actions. So again, it goes back to that reading the defense, right? An action leading to another action, but at the end of the day, we're trying to create an advantage. So the best out-of-bounds, teams that have the best out-of-bounds sets are the teams that read the defense the best, right? If this guy's cheating one way, boom, I'm going to hit him with a counter. And we're going to go through a few plays just in a second here, and I'll show you different counters that you can put that will help you be a little bit more discreet. So eventually with out of bounds plays, you just want to know what you want to accomplish before you do it, right? There's different opportunities and sets. There's a million sets out there you could go and look at and run, but do they fit what you're trying to do, right? What are you trying to accomplish? Are you trying to get a 2? Are you trying to get a 3? Are you trying to get a slasher to the basket? Are you trying to get an easy basket for your big? Are you trying to put more pressure on the defense and try to get more fouls? Do you have how many shot clocks you have? Do you have 3 seconds left? Do you have 5 seconds left? So there's a lot of things that you need to be aware of before deciding what play set you wanna run. You just don't wanna draw up any random play and say, hey, let's run this because I saw it work with the Warriors, right? It's got to fit your personnel as a team. So yeah, that being said, what are your strengths, right? So do you have a strong post player, right? Do you have a good catch and shoot player, right? Do you have an athletic super freak that could just go up and get it above the rim and jump over everyone? There's a play set for that. You can put those players in a situation to succeed, right? At the end of the day, you know, you could look at out of bounds as, in a sense, okay, we got to just inbound the ball and we'll run our stuff, or we can create an opportunity with the shot clock stopped and us getting 5 seconds, especially on a baseline. You're essentially getting 1 foot away from the rim and you have 5 seconds to create an opportunity that you wouldn't, right? A guy can't come and steal it from you, right? So that's an opportunity, right? So we want to make sure we put our team in the best situation in order to gain that competitive advantage and because every basket matters. When you're playing good teams, every possession matters. So take advantage of it, right? So you also, like I think Damien mentioned this, you want to understand what the defense is doing. Are they in zone? Are they in switch? Are they in just man-to-man, no switch, right? And we'll go different. I got different sets for you guys for zones and stuff if you want to try out. And so there's also different starting positions with each out of bounds. So you can be in a box set, the diamond set. You can be in a flat. You can be in a stack. You can be in a horizontal, right? So there's different ways to set up. But what you want to take advantage of is you don't necessarily want to have a different structure every single play that you have, right? Because then you become very predictable. Okay, they're in a box set. This is the play they're running, right? Oh, they're in the diamond set now. Oh, they run this set off the diamond, right? So teams can scout you pretty easy if you're doing that. So I would say figure out what fits your team best, right? And try to run different scenarios off that set, right? So if you're going to be in a box, you got to have different counters to keep the team from guessing, right? If you're going to be in a diamond set, are you going to do a screen to screener? Are you going to just rub off the big? Are we just going to feed the big right away and look for a post up, right? So you got to keep your opponents guessing on what you're going to do in order for your out-of-bounds sets to be effective. So that's all I got for teaching points in terms of out-of-bounds. Now let's get to the fun stuff. Who wants to learn some sets? Can I get 5 people out on the court? Yeah.
Every player should be a good defender, the
Yeah,
best defender.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just my thought.
No, defense is a big portion of it.
Defense is always-
Yeah, I'm definitely focusing on the offense here. Okay, so Coach, you're our best ball handler, best passer, best IQ. You'll be our inbounder. Okay. So we're just gonna go through a few sets, and I'm gonna show you with different variations. So we're gonna start out with a box set. Okay. So we'll have usually our one guard, our point guard over there. We'll have our shooter, number 2, on the other block. Okay. We'll have our 4 over there. 5 we'll have on this block here, and you'll be our 3-man, just right here. So this first set, this is a box structure set up right here, right? So what we want to do with this one is, you could start it out different ways, but this is a set that works for a lot of players. So this guy will go and set a back screen, right? Boom. He's wide, and he sets that screen. You sell opposite. You come out. We got our big. Most teams switch it, right? We got an opportunity here, big on small. That's our first look. So speaking of staggers, this is where you can add another action, right? That was just straight back pick, right? So now you could you're gonna set a stagger for our shooter here now. So we want to see if we can get him open. So you want to hold on. You want to rise up right here. So what you want to do is you want to fake, right? Sell opposite and come shoulder to shoulder and low, and you're going to curl it. And right now we're anticipating the defense is trailing, right? So that's why he's going all the way. So he's trailing, and what you want to do is you don't want to just stand there, just because that's where what do we talk about in terms of screens? If I'm trailing him, you want to step in and make contact, right? Boom. Right there, we got a shooter wide open. If they do switch, what are you going to do? Dive to the basket. Boom. Well, they switched that. So come back again. So keep going, right? I yell out, switch, switch, switch. Now you hear that, you're just going to slip it. You're not going to screen that and look for the ball, because you got an opportunity right there, right? You got an open basket. So these are the different reads you can have out of this box option, right? So let's say they start reading this a little bit more. Back to your position. So now what we want to do is you're just going to curl off the first stagger, okay? So now you're going to go curl off the first stagger, right? So this is the first stagger. Set the second. So you're going to come off. Now they're anticipating him to go there. Boom. You're just going to go down this way. And instead of him, we'll get this guy coming off the pick, right? Boom. And he could roll as well. So now we got multiple options going towards the rim where we can get easy baskets. And now you're asking the defense to communicate on this initial screen, and then they have to read this guy coming off. Then they got to communicate here, and then they got to look for your dive. So we're putting them in a difficult situation, right? Yeah. Yeah, so what we want to do is, we talked about spacing, right? So it depends, it's going to depend on how you're going to space it out, what kind of set you're in, right? Are you in a 4-and-1, 5 out, right? 3 and 2 down low, more traditional. So in this situation, you're going to look for it, but we want this guy flashing afterwards. So if you're not open right away, you're not going to waste any time. You're going to fade corner, okay? So now, when you're diving, you have more room to operate. Great question. Perfect. So that's one set we could run. Back into the box formation, okay? I'll give you another one for our box formation here. Actually, we're going to go...
Sorry, will you run that stag, like as a three-part? Sorry, no, you went there, right? That was one step back. The first action was him.
Yeah, so we'd want to get a shooter.
There would be a third one off that.
Yeah, so we would want a shooter coming off the stagger, right? But not necessarily, because you can curl off and you could be more open going down the right. We're just mostly trying to cause confusion within the defense. But yeah, most of the time what we want to do is we want to get a big on small around this area where he could just dump it off, and now they're either got to double team me or I'm scoring on this little guy with an end one, right? So once they double team me, then we created the advantage. Then we can space out and just play basketball, right? We're just looking for that initial advantage. Yeah, that's it. Once they switch, boom, we got them. We got the advantage that we're looking for that we usually wouldn't get, right? Obviously, it depends on the situation. Sometimes you do need a three-pointer, so you're gonna try to run the sets to what's more beneficial to you, but depends on what you're looking for. But most of the time on an out-of-bounds play, you're just trying to create an advantage to get a basket, right? So now let's go on a flat, okay? So a flat, you just go corner there, and we'll get you on this one here. Shooter, you'll go flat, okay? So 3, we want to space it out, right? So in this situation, we'd run this kind of set when we just want to inbound the ball and make sure we can get the ball inbounded, right? The defense is flattened out, right? Now we're just going to have this man here seal. So you're going to seal me. So if I'm defending, I'm protecting the hoop. So what you're going to do is put your body and you're going to give him a target, right? You're going to give him a target and you're going to come out. Because if I try to play here, you're going to turn around, that's a basket for you, right? So I got to be on this side, make sure. So we're going to pass that ball, lob it over, and you're going to come out here, okay? You're going to also rise with him, okay? So now we want to reverse the ball. Reverse the ball? Yeah. So in this situation here, we think our 3-man here or our 2-man is a great post-up player, right? So we want to put him in a situation. So what we're going to do is we're going to have our point guard to step in and set that flex screen, okay, coming up. So you're going to come off this screen right here. So you're going to read the defense, right? It's most likely you're going to come fake here and go over the top, right? So the ball is right there. Boom. That's a good opportunity right there, right? So now this is where we go on an action to action. Let's say he's not available. Boom. We're going to get our big to small, set that pin down screen right there. So you set that screen to bring our shooter up, right? Boom. Let's say what happens. Defenses, what do? They switch. That's our point guard right there. This is our 5-man. If they switch, what are you going to do? Boom. I'm going to spin on you and get position. Now we got another advantage, right? So that's another option. You could run off flat screens. And again, like, we could run a flat, and we can get our point guard coming off the screen instead. We can get, so there's different ways we can adjust depending on who we want and what position, right? What our team personnel is looking like. Okay. Yeah, so what are you going to do? First, we're in a flat. You're going to seal, right? So you're going to seal the defender in and give him a target. Boom. As soon as he comes, we get another rise. You want to stay just right here. Yeah. You want to make it an easy pass because the further you go out, the more difficult the pass gets, right?
Stay at the elbow?
Yeah, stay at the elbow. And then, so before you come off here, what do you want to do? You want to set your defender up. So you want to fake one way and go the other way, okay? So you're going to set it, yeah, exactly. Boom. But if it's not there, you're going right away, right? So go back right away, pass it back, sorry, and come off it, come off. So we're running set the screener right away. Boom, you're going off and you're coming up. Boom. So now the defense has to choose. You got to read, right? What is the defense doing, right? Yeah, so you're going to try to get an opportunity here. If not, we could, you slide up and we flash out, right? And we got our sets. Let's say he comes up here. He gets the ball. Boom. He gets the ball. He doesn't have anything. You could space out and you could come. Come set a ball screen. Boom. What we want to do in this situation, you can rise up, right? Make that defense. Or he could get to the key and dump it off to the big, right? So you're in a good situation over there. So a lot of different options off that flat screen as well. And easily to inbound. Okay, so now we're going to go and take a look at a diamond set. Okay, so we're going to have our 5-man over here, 4-man. We want to have our 4-man up here, sorry, 4-man up here, our shooter down there. Okay, so they call it a diamond set because it looks like a diamond set. Just face this way. Okay, so in this situation, what we want to do is we want to you want to space out a little bit, right? Spacing is important. So, boom. As soon as he gets the ball, you want to go set a flat screen. Some we call a flat screen. So it's flat because we want to give this player here the option to choose where he wants to go, right? You want to react off the defense. If the defense dives this way, boom, I'm coming down this way right here. If the defense is jumping to the ball, boom, I'm coming down here, right? So we're going to take advantage of that. So make that action, boom. So that action, it may not be there. Now what are we going to do? We're going to get our shooter coming off our big on small screen. Yeah, so now we're looking for a shot over there. Yeah. If you don't have it, again, you're going to clear the space. Yeah, so you could do multiple things off of this. So initially what we want is our 4-man diving with our 2-man, which is a smaller guy, set in the screen, right? So that's creating big on small at the rim. If that's not available, or let's say his defender hedges down a little bit, then he's rubbing off that screen right here. So we're doing multiple actions all at once to distract the defense. Now the defense has got to over-communicate and think about it over a lot more, right? So back to that original position. So another variation we can do is, let's say now your defender, he sees what's coming, right? So now I start cheating a little bit. So boom, you start coming up. You could just go off that, right? And you could stay there. And now they threw me off. Where am I going, right? So that guy's open right there. That could be another variation. So go back there. And now the 5-man right here, right? Your defense now, he sees what's going on, and he wants to protect the paint a little bit. Boom. What do? Flash to the ball. And then we'll get a get action right away because I'm not ready to defend it. So you rub off that get. So you're going to hand him the ball. Just hand off. Now I'm over here guarding this situation. I'm not there to defend this, right? So when you're doing a get action, what you want to do is, go back to it quickly. So once I seal and get the ball, and he comes off, I want to pass him the ball and hit his defender, right? So that's basically, essentially you're setting a screen for him and getting him an open shot or to the lane, right? So now we're throwing multiple different things at the defense, right? You can pop, get him the ball, right? Another variation, get him the ball, and now you can come off a stagger here. You set a screen for him, stagger. So you'll be setting a screen for him, right? Sorry. So yeah, go back. So you're gonna square up, set a screen, reverse the ball, boom. We got a shooter coming off the other end, right? So now there's a lot of things you can do with it, but again, it's gonna depend on your personnel, what the defense is doing, and who we want to create an advantage for. Right? So that's a few things you can do with the star. UBC loves to run the star option. If you want to watch them a little bit more, you'll get more ideas. They got a lot of shooters, so they're sending guys left and right, and you got to chase guys all the time. Now we'll just go and show you a little fun. Okay, let's go side out of bounds. Okay. So let me get our shooter over there, our inbounder. Okay. Let's get the 3-man over here, 4-man over there. We'll get the 5 on the block and the 2 on the other block. So this is a box setup off the sideline again, okay? So what we could do is we'll run our shooter first. Boom. We'll, let's say our inbounder, he's really good at getting down the rim, right? He's a good penetrator. So we want to get him an opportunity getting down the rim, okay? So what we want to do is, one, we're going to send our shooter down the baseline here. You're going to set a screen for him. Another small on big, right? So if they switch it, right away you can feed our big, right? Boom, you can just call for the ball. You got a small guy on you, that's an opportunity. So another one, let's say he's a shooter, right? So now you're gonna, instead of him coming get you, you're gonna come get him. This is a flare screen. So you're gonna come over and maybe we'll look for that, right? That's not there. As soon as you set it, you wanna pop. Right there, right there. Boom. Yeah. And now we're gonna get in our get action again, right? Now he wants to change speed, this inbounder here. We don't want him to go the same speed. Boom. Now he's setting it up, make it look like he's going down this way. Now he's coming up, turn the corner. Now he's coming down with an advantage, right? You could fade corner, that's our shooter, and you could curl, right? So now we got a player coming down, a guy we want coming down the lane with multiple options, 2 shooters on the wing with our big down low, right? That's a good side out of bounds play if you want to set something up for a big. Here's another option. Let's get the 5-man over here. The 4 over there. Let's get the 2 on the block and the 3. Okay. So now maybe we want to post up our inbounder or get him in a post situation. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the 5 to flash. Flash all the way up to the top. Boom. We're going to inbound it to our 5. So now one option could be you could just dribble at, you come up, and you can go back door. Boom. No. So you could play a 2-man game right here, right? So I can either go dribble at, DHO action, or if we want to set up a defender and they know the defense loves to deny hard, boom, you're just going to set me up, and then back door. Yeah, just run back door, and we're going to look for that option, dribble, bounce pass, yeah. So that's one option we could look at, right? But let's get back. Let's come off here. So our inbounder now, he passed the ball. We're going to set him a back screen. Boom, set that right there. So now he's going to come off this action and go to the low block. Yeah. So we want to reverse the ball. You want to pop up, reverse the ball. Boom, we got our guy in that situation there. Okay? That's a way we can get our guard posting up, right? Let's say it's not there. Boom. Here we go. This is back to our stagger again to get our shooter open, right? So boom, you're going to go get this guy and you're going to come as well. You're going to curl off of both. Boom. We got a shooter open right there, right? So off this one right here, we could get a backdoor opportunity, right? We could post up our smaller guy who's maybe got a smaller point guard on him, and we could get our shooter flashing, right? Multiple different options off this set right here, right? I'll give you a couple more, I guess. I got a bunch. Okay. Yeah, let's go sideline. Sideline. Okay, so we're going to do everyone's favorite, right? Elevator screen is everyone's favorite. Okay. So now we're going to have the three-man inbounding the ball. Okay, so we're going to have the 5-man over here, the 4-man over there, and the 2 on the where coach is at. And coach, we're just going to get you right here. Okay. So in this situation right here, we're just going to let our point guard get open and get him the ball. Boom. Okay. Now we want to reverse it. Okay. So we're going to dribble. You're going to pop. We're going to kick it to him. And then we're going to go a get action. Okay. As soon as he does that, you're flashing up. Okay. So this is not the elevator. It's a different action. But he's going to flash up, right? We're looking for the 3 at the end of a gameplay. This is not our typical set. So what we want to do, stay up there, right? So now coach is penetrating. All the action is over here. Your defender's probably thinking, what's he going to do? He's coming down. Boom, we set a back screen for this guy right here to fade corner. Fade corner. Boom. A 3-point option right there. You're our shooter. This one we want to get the inbounder to be our shooter, right? So we kick it and get him open right there. Okay, so now we'll do the elevator action. So let's get our 1 inbounding the ball.
Same positions.
Let's get our 5-man over here, 4-man on the block, 2, you'll be right there, and 3 right there, okay? So 2, you're going to go down, set a down screen for our 3-man. 3, you're going to come all the way up here. Boom. We're going to get that ball. As soon as you inbound it, we're going to set him a flat screen right there to come the Iverson screen right there. So you're going to flash all the way down. We're going to look for that. As soon as you set this screen, you're going to turn around and you're going to set a screen right here. And you're also coming and setting a screen and you're going to shoot up, right? All the action's over there. So this is the elevator right here. Gotcha. So boom, we're going to close the elevator as soon as he goes by, right? Now we got our shooter right there. Boom. Because this is our point guard coming on this side. All the action is everyone's thinking he's going to get the ball here. He's got all the space. We're going to shoot our shooter through an elevator. That's an open shot there. All right? So, yeah. So get back to your positions. That's our shooter. He's going to come down. He's going to pop all the way up. We're going to get that Iverson screen right there. As soon as you set the screen, you're going, right? So on this one, timing is very important, right? Because we want to take advantage. We don't want to let this guy get over there, settle, then we go, because the defense is going to pick up on it. So it's kind of got to be simultaneously. As soon as he sets that screen, you're turning around right away and setting that screen. Let's run it one more time. Again, so your defense got to be, your team has to be at a certain level to run these kind of sets, right? So it might be appropriate for your team, it might not, right? But this is, so now go, boom. You flash up. Coach, you flash, boom. You go, 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 go. There he is, 3. Game winner. Okay. Now I got a couple more sets for you guys for in case of a zone. Okay. 4 minutes. Okay. Let's run it quickly. So this one is pretty simple. So we'll get our inbounder on the baseline. We'll get our 5-man down low there. 4 over here. And we'll get our 2 and 3 over on the other block. Right. So let's say the team is set up in a 2-3. Right. So what we want to do in a zone is overload a side, okay? So we're going to get both our guys here coming off both the screens to the other opposite ends, okay? So go, boom. Both of you go. So now we got one defender here, one defender here, and one defender here. He's got to decide who he's going to guard. If he goes, boom, you're diving, right? He's open there. If the top guy stays here, you're going to skip that. He's going to be open, right? So that's an open shot. So that's a set you can run for a zone, right? If they're playing zone defense, we're just going to overload a side, right? Then they're going to have to communicate more, and this guy right here has to cover a guy on the opposite side and be out of position, right? So most teams won't pick up on that. Yeah, we'll wrap it up over there. If you want more plays, obviously, you can email me, even the ones we ran here, and I'll be happy to send you the playlist. But that's all I got for you guys today, I guess. We ran out of time. Thank you. No worries. No worries. Thank you.
That's a good hand for Awet. Damien and Rob. Thanks to all you guys for giving us your time on a Friday evening. Thanks, Alberta Basketball.
Yeah, for sure. Just you can email me. You want to grab my email, and I'll just send you all of it. Okay.
Email Robin, email Awet, and you can email me at any time. Thanks, everybody.